So today I wanted to go over a question that I get asked a lot by lots of students, or a question or a topic that I think would be the thing that would help your writing the most. Out of everything, when we're talking about perfect grammar structure, and we're talking about how to write a beautiful sentence, and we're talking about all of these great things that, also really do help. I think the number one thing that you really need to keep in mind when you're writing is how to write not just a long answer, but an answer to a question, any English question, that will, help to show your thinking and kind of get you full marks. In math, we have that idea of, show your thinking. So if we had, and I'm horrible at math, but, oh, that's a highlighter. If we had, one of your equations, x minus 20 equals 4, solve for x, and then you have to show how you move x around and all of that. You have to show all those steps. You can't just say that the answer is 5, right? You have to go through the steps and show your teacher that you were thinking about it and how you were thinking about it. Well, the same applies for English. We can't just say, for example, if this is my question right here, who is the best superhero? I can't just say Batman is the best superhero. Okay, sure, that gives me the answer. That shows me that, you've thought about it, but it doesn't tell me, why. What was your thinking behind this? How did you get to this answer? And if we're talking about how to create an English answer that is, something that's going to get you full marks and something that's going to show your thinking, this right here, it's showing that you're starting, but it doesn't really show me how you got there. And so showing me how you get there is, creating a nice, strong argument. So let's take a look at a little bit. Let me actually just take this guy, and we're going to move this way. This Oreo method. Now, if you're one of my students, you would have heard about the Oreo method a lot. I think it's a great method to start with. And by no means if you're proficient at writing answers that you have to stay locked into this method, but if you're not sure where to start, this is a great place to start. Now, just keep in mind as a disclaimer, I did not make this method up. I've seen it many places on the internet from teachers who are teaching writing, and so I'm using a bit of this Oreo method, but I'm going to expand and explain it a little bit. So we start off with the first thing. You're stating your opinion, right? Now, depending on what level you're in, between grades 9 to 12, this might look a little bit differently, but you're going to state what you believe. Okay, so you're gonna tell me what you think, right? About whatever the answer is. What do you think the tone of this poem is? What do you think the mood was? Why did the author choose to use such and such a word? What is the theme of this story? Right? You're going to tell me what you think, right? You're going to tell me what you think the answer is. Then you're going to give me a reason why. And then from there, so we have, I think, or I believe, da-da-da-da-da. Now, the higher in the grades you get, the more that you'll take that I think out of it, but we'll get there a little bit later. So we're starting very much kind of level 1. Let's build a strong base before we start tweaking a little bit. But I believe that da-da-da-da-da. And then you're going to give me the reason. I believe this because. Why do you think that? Why do you think the tone is this? Or why do you think that the author might have used this word because why? Why do you believe that? What the theme of this poem? I believe the theme of this poem is love, and about, or the subject of this poem is love. I believe this because. Okay, so tell me why you believe it, and then you're gonna go in and give me an example. And don't worry, I will give you a full example. I'm just explaining a little bit about the Oreo method. And an example will be a specific situation, so you might paraphrase something. Okay, so this is like a specific situation. When the character did this. When, Dr. Jekyll met with Mr. Utterson. Okay, on page 43, or you might give me an exact quote. Again, this depends on the level of English that you're in, into what you'll choose, but they're all great. And then from here, I kind of like put like an E squared sort of thing, because it's great to have your example, but I also want to explain the example in terms of this demonstrates my idea because adding in that extra explanation really makes it even that much stronger. And then the last one is your opinion again. Therefore, in conclusion, that wasn't supposed to be so big. In conclusion, so, that kind of right there will give me a nice strong explanation of what you're thinking, how you're thinking, and how you've come to that conclusion, right? Because as a teacher, we have some pretty cool, awesome superpowers, but reading your mind is not one. So you need to show me what's in your mind, and because, we want to give you marks. We want to give you those 80, 90, 100%. But if we can't see what you're thinking, we can't give you those grades, right? So we need to see that down on paper. And this is the best way to kind of show us what you're thinking. So if I'm looking at this and, we have a question such as, who is the best superhero right here? Right here I have a one sentence answer. Now, again, you're getting to the answer, but I'm not seeing those thinking. So you have one sentence here. If you use this Oreo paragraph, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentences. So already we have such a stronger piece of writing. And the sentences each have a purpose. So you're not just, starting off on a tangent, starting to talk about why you think Batman is the best superhero and then end up talking about the grilled cheese sandwich that you ate yesterday, right? We're staying on topic. And this is kind of the best way to do it. So if I take this, all right, let me color code these guys. So let's call our opinion green. Actually, I guess I already have yellow there, so let's keep it yellow. So your opinion is yellow. And again, we're doing our final opinion right there, so that's great. The reason is going to be green, and let's make the example orange. Okay, so to answer this question, we're going to start with the opinion. So who is the best superhero? Batman is the best superhero of all time. Okay. Now keep in mind I'm kind of in a writing app that doesn't give me a lot of room for lines and such forth, so that would be indented in, but I don't want to erase everything that I'm at. But so we have our first opinion right here. Now you'll notice I didn't put in I think or I believe, because this is an opinion right here that Batman is the best superhero. That's what I believe. I'll know that that's an opinion, especially as a teacher reading this, that it's going to be what you think. And depending on the grade, your teacher may or may not allow you to say, I think that Batman is the best superhero of all time. And depending on the formality of what you're writing. But that is mine right there. So I'm answering the question. Batman is the best superhero of all time. Now, reading this question, I might want to answer why he is the best, right? What is it about him that's the best? So that would be sort of in my reason. I believe this because da da da. So I would say the best superhero is one who, or I could say is a person who works hard to defeat evil for all of humanity, for the betterment of humanity. The best superhero is a person who works hard to defeat evil and betters his community. Let's make this even more simple. Let's just keep it to one reason. So he's someone who works hard to defeat evil. So in my reason here, right, Batman is the best superhero of all time. The best superhero is a person who works hard to defeat evil. That's why he's great, right? So now my definition of what the best is somebody who works hard, right? That is the crux of what my argument is. So why is he the best superhero? He's the best because someone who is a superhero is someone who works hard. Okay? And then I could even say that because I didn't address Batman here. So I could say Batman works hard to overcome all of the evil in Gotham. Okay, so you can see that you're not limited to just one sentence for each part of the Oreo. I've written 2 here, so I'm already up to 3 sentences. So we have a really great start here. And, again, instead of just having the one sentence right there, Batman is the best superhero. Now I'm defining what the best superhero is. How do we define that? And then I'm making an argument that Batman is that person. So the next thing I'm going to do is start with my E squared. I'm going to start with my example. So what's an example of a time that Batman has worked hard? So I could say Batman has developed multiple tools to fight a variety of different villains, such as who are some of his villains? The Riddler. Who else does he fight? Firefly. They're all I'm blanking on them. But you could give another example, and let's put another villain in there. Isn't there an Iceman? I think there's an Iceman. Dr. Freeze. I think his name is. It's been a while since I've watched Batman. Although I do love Batman. Okay, so such villains as the Riddler, Firefly, and Dr. Freeze. Okay, and now, I'm kind of giving more of like a specific situation. So I could say, what's the specific tool that he's come up with? Batman uses tools such as the Batmobile. What else does he have? High-tech tools in his utility belt, and friendships with local police departments to fight crime. Okay, so, there's an example. And in this example, you notice that I didn't grab a quote because we don't have a quote to grab, but I could say Batman says, and then pull up a beautiful quote that Batman has said before. And if you want to see an answer like this in response to a specific passage or a specific story, let me know. I'm kind of just using a general one right now. Let me know and I can make a video like that. Okay, so I've given you kind of that example, right? Now we have to explain our example. This shows Batman's dedication to fighting evil. Batman doesn't have powers, and so he must use technology and tools, or no, technology and relationships with the police to do good. Okay, so I'm kind of explaining the example here. Let's do a different kind of. There's no light orange. I wish there was a light orange. I'll do gray here. So I'm, explaining how this example of him having a relationship means that he is. We'll do explain as gray. How this relationship shows that he is somebody who works hard, right? So what that he has different villains, and so what that he, has all these tools that he's developing. Well, the so what is, it shows his dedication, right? In order to develop all of this, and to fight all of these different people, he has to work really hard, right? And so that's, he has a dedication to fighting. So we're showing that that's why he's the best superhero. And then, I think we've been kind of writing a lot actually around here. So we'll finish off with our last opinion. So we're going to sum up kind of a little bit of what we've been talking about. So I'd start with something like therefore, Batman is a superhero who works hard to do good. This makes him the best superhero. Okay, and I know that I'm a little bit wordy. That's a little bit my style. I know I should work on kind of making my answer a little bit shorter sometimes. But let's take a look at kind of what we have here, right? So we start off with, let me grab my, pen. We start off with the opinion, right, at sentence number 1. Batman is the best superhero of all time. Then we move to our reason, which is number 2. The best superhero is a person who works hard to defeat evil. And then we explain a little bit more. Batman works hard to overcome all of the evil in Gotham. And then we go on to our example. So I broke my example down into 2 parts. You could keep it as 1. So what are we at? Sentence 3. This is sentence 4. Batman has developed multiple tools to fight a variety of different villains, such as the Riddler, Firefly, and Dr. Freeze. Batman uses tools such as the Batmobile, high-tech tools in his utility belt, and friendships with local police departments to fight crime. So that's an example of how he is, working hard to fight crime. And then, I explained my example. So I think that's 5 sentences right there. So we're at sentence number 6, and I'm explaining how those things, come back to my point. This shows Batman's dedication to fighting evil. Batman doesn't have powers, and so he must use technology and relationships with the police to do good. Okay, sentence number 8, we're coming back to our original opinion. Therefore, Batman is a superhero who works hard to do good. Sentence 9, this makes him the best superhero. Okay, so we went from what was originally, a 1-sentence answer, Batman is the best superhero of all time, to showing you how you can expand on that and make that into 9 sentences. So we have a nice big full kind of answer. So I hope this helped to show you how, you can go from a teacher saying not enough detail, right? Or too short. Explain your thinking. And I hope this kind of shows you how using this sort of Oreo method with the E being squared, because I guess it wouldn't be squared, it'd be times 2. How we have 2 in here, right? We kind of make, 2 parts of that E. We have the example and then we explain our example and how that can create a much stronger response. Okay, if you'd like to see more examples of how to do this, if you'd like to see it with a specific passage or a text in mind, let me know. I can make more videos. And if you have any other questions or concerns, email me, write me on, Teams, write it into YouTube. I'm watching all of these things, so especially if you're one of my students, just ask and I'll make a video for you guys to help you out with these weekly assignments. Okay, I hope you're all doing really well, and, again, reach out if you need to reach out. All right, bye!